D number four. Yes, today is Create It, creating momentum by learning how to overcome objections and stepping into the yes. So welcome everyone to day 4 of the Hidden Client Challenge. We've already covered so many things like mapping out your dot client, building your irresistible offer. Yesterday we talked about the snowball effect and the power of visuals with an infographic, and that was yesterday. Geez, it's gone so fast. I can't believe we're way over halfway now. And also, we've invited you to come and join us inside of the Omni Spark Academy. So some of you have already said yes, and we will give you some shout outs and some congratulations soon. But as always, let's kick off with our theme song as we make sure we wait for all these beautiful humans to come join us inside for the live. And if you're on the replay, hashtag replay.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.
Out there watching us, if you are on the live, just drop a live in the chat, and if you are on replay, hashtag replay below, because we want to know you're still following along. Where are all of my level 3 participants? All of you who were like, I'm all in. I'm going to do all the things. Hey, good morning, Zoe. Sharon's here live as well. All right. Yes, Sharon's an all in. She's going to do all the things. Come on. Remember all the way back to day number 1 and you were asked if you're going to commit to level 3. Let me know in the chat if that's you. And how are you going with that commitment? Right? Are you actually doing day 1 through 5 home play and live in 5 challenge? I'm going to go through the list and I'm going to call some of you out if I'm still waiting to see you get that done. Kingsley says, still here. The level 3 commitment has not changed. I love that. Done all the challenges so far. Well done. Now, let me just do a couple of shout outs. We did actually open the door to the OmniSpark Academy yesterday. And for this cohort, we are already up to Sharon Nabala. Welcome. I'm so excited. My goodness, this lady, she has so much energy. So I can't wait to start working with her. We've got Sharon Sortel, who is rolling over from our previous cohort. Emma Fisher, she's awesome. Deborah Garber. We've got Sarah, the scatterbrain shepherd. So we're getting there. We did fill up and close off last time. So we only do 12 spots to ensure that we can fully support you to the best amount that we possibly can. So congratulations. Woo! All of those beautiful humans who have said yes to them and cut a check for speed. So today, I know some of you will have prospects who have been following you and they continue to be sitting on the fence. And today, we're going to clear up that because today is all about enrollment and overcoming objections. So if you're ready to slay the dragons today, right, drop me a fire emoji in the chat because today is all about moving people from a maybe to a yes, right? And who struggles with those objections? Show of hands in the chat. Who struggles with those objections when they come up and you're a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What am I going to say? Well, don't you worry. We've got you covered as always. So this also, not only is it helping you to overcome objections, but we're going to be talking about the skill of enrollment, but not only how it applies to clients or prospects, but also to your family and to yourself. The biggest objection that stops most people and also how you can reframe that. And I'll also share my story with you today as well and some things that happened in regards to how my life shifted and changed. Now, I think, I forgot the little agenda thingy here. So the art of enrollment, overcoming objections, then of course, home play, live in 5, wrap up, prize draw, and then of course, we move into our networking and some laser coaching. So don't forget, if you are catching up, then all of the replays are on Homebase, sparklewithsally.com/home base. When you attend live, we've got some pretty awesome extra things for you. And also, these are all the prizes that you can win, such as the 3 proven video marketing formulas, the Canva collection, the 15 lead magnet ideas, the social media planner, and also the Canva Made Easy course. And that one's pretty awesome because it's going to help you to literally schedule your social media posts out to 2050. If you want to, right? So don't forget all of these prize draws and get in as well. Now, also, if you do all of the home play and the challenges, then you also go into the grand prize draw, and that will be announced next week for those who may be still catching up. Now, so many of you are doing so well. I mean, Sharon Barnett went live first and then posted her daily. She's added her weekly, and Leah realized that she can repeat her message, so she's not going to reinvent, right? We love that. We love that. Veronica doesn't have any content made yet, but we spent a bit of time chatting last night, and I think she now can see how nurtures and nurture emails are going to really help. And I have to say, we had such a beautiful talk last night. She's a sneak peeker, and I just love seeing how passionate she is with, helping her clients win. She's got such beautiful, beautiful intentions. And Mary Martin, well, she wants more income for her family to travel. Don't we love to travel? I love to travel around here. Like laptop lifestyle, that's the business model I've built. And she knows that she needs a lead magnet, but she needs some idea and some direction. But you can get there, Mary. We know, we believe in you. So who's been stacking up their entries into the prize draw? Let me know. Raise your hand and let me know. Have you been stacking up those entries to hopefully win that grand prize? Love seeing you all in here. Okay, so look, my team tells me before we actually kick off the training today, they've told me that quite a few questions have been coming in. And in my experience, if one or two of you have asked, probably 10 or 20 or 30 of you have also been thinking the same thing. So would it be okay with you if I just address those before we dive in today? Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. So one of the questions is, what's the difference between the done for you and the studio one? So the academy is more of a done with you. So you get access to all the courses, and then we have sessions where you sit in and you do the building and the clicking following along, but we're right there waiting for you to go, I'm not sure what to do here, show me, and share screen, and we'll help you fix it. Where the OmniSpark Studio, that one is we actually do all the tech for you, right? So that you can focus more on what you can only do, right? We want to make sure that you're getting and being able to spend more time on the jobs that you can only do, which is, outreach to people, doing your marketing, doing your sales calls, all those income producing activities, filling the funnel. But we make sure that all the techie stuff works. So the academy, that one's $9,000 for the year, and the done for you, that one's $15,000 up to $25,000. It just depends on how much work you need done, and honestly, you're just cutting a check for speed, depending on how fast you want to get there as well. So they're the two different options. But what actually happens is you complete the application, we then conduct the interview, and then we actually help you to determine which is going to be the best fit for you, right? And your particular circumstances. Another question that came in was, what happens at the end of the 12 months? Well, the choice is yours. We do have an alumni program that you can move into after 12 months. And what will happen with that is there's a special offer that we do. We also only offer some people alumni, because if you were not an action taker and you didn't do the things, I don't want your place to be taken up by somebody who is actually wanting to do the work. Now, most of our clients stay with us between 3 to 5 years before they may scale out. And, that's kind of what happens at the end of 12 months. But honestly, most of our clients stay with us between sort of 3 to 5 years. Also, what happens if all the 12 spots are taken and I don't get in? Well, you will actually go on a waiting list. So we will open the waiting list up as soon as all of the spots are filled for the cohort. We also allow you to pay a deposit to lock in the current price. So sometimes, of course, when we add more resources and more, I've got to put more money out for experts and things as we slowly start to bring in more resources, the price will go up. But if you lock in the current price, or maybe you're thinking, I don't want to start until next year, feel free to reach out and we can talk about a deposit lock to hold the price to guarantee you a spot when we open up enrollment again next year. This one, we had quite a few of these. When do I have to decide? Look, the program starts with actually a welcome celebration tomorrow. So it's not that your decision has to be at that time, but why would you want to actually miss starting something when we're actually starting? So, but only you can do the work. Remember that. But you don't have to do alone. So, if it's not you, who? If it's not now, when? And if it's not us, who are you going to choose? You've got to choose somebody, right? So if you've got any questions, please reach out and speak to our team. They'll be happy to give you any clarity that you need around, what we do, what the investment is, what the commitment is, and any of the deadlines there. So if you're unclear about anything at all, please just type the word support in the chat and the team will reach out to you. Whether or not it is here on the live or on the replay under this video, just type the word support and we will make sure that the team reach out to you, have a bit of a chat and see whether or not, it's a good time for you now, or maybe you just want to let us know that it's maybe a better time next time, and at least we will put you on that waiting list. Okay, so let's dig into today's lesson. Are you ready? It's a lesson about enrollment. Now, this truly is the heart of everything. Now, I was touched by these questions that you guys asked last night and this morning, and I'm sure many of you didn't sleep very well last night and you were tossing and turning and debating, is this the thing? Is anyone in that kind of boat right now? You're thinking, is this the right thing for me? Or, I'm just loving the free stuff and I'm going to go off and, do it myself. That's okay. Bless and release, honestly. But do you think it's the right time for you? Let me know in the chat. Do you think it's the right time, or have you been tossing and turning? I remember what it was like. You ask things like, is this the right time? Is this the right program? Am I overwhelmed? Can I afford this? How do I even tell my partner? Will this even work? I mean, these are some of the things that you might be debating, but think about your clients. They also will be debating that as well when they are thinking about working with you. I know these questions. I remember being there. I remember debating on those very same questions. Let me know in the chat, have you ever made an investment yourself and had those sorts of questions? Like, is it the right time? Is it the right program? Can I afford it? Will my spouse be okay with it? Will it even work? Yeah? Right? Yeah, Zoe's like 100%. Now, I know these questions and they show up so often in our lives whenever we're faced with a big decision. And finding a clear path to navigating the way around this, it's such a big decision. And it's often something that we're never actually taught to do in life when we have a big decision. So I hope what I'm about to share with you will help you not just today, but anytime you're faced with a fork in the road. You see, it really comes down to a life skill, learning how to overcome your own objections and others, and learning, honestly, for your clients, how you need to enroll yourself and your belief in your own program first before you can even think about enrolling others. So first, know that fear around a big decision, that's totally normal, right? Investing in yourself is a big decision. That big decision, it's because it symbolizes so much more than a simple yes or no. And the path to get you there is so much more complicated, or at least at times, right? It seems like that. That where is there a way from where you're sitting right now to where you see yourself, say, in 12 months' time? But take a deep breath, let it out. Let me give you something you can use for the rest of your life to make you be able to find your way through when you make big decisions. You see, in my experience, we all fall into the same traps. Fears around time, right? Who has fears around time? Will I even be able to do it? Or money, right? Can I even afford it? Or honestly, can you afford not to? Or support from your loved ones. And then internally, confidence in yourself, right? Are you confident in yourself? Or maybe you're kicking shame and self-doubt around during that decision-making process, especially if you've let yourself down before. Who's paid for something and they're not followed through? Right now, we see people do that. And, are you going to be that person who blames the program, or are you going to hold and take responsibility for your own actions? And that's the thing, right? If you have let yourself down before, it can be really hard for you to be able to say, will I actually follow through this time? Yeah, I see Kingsley's nodding there. And it's a risk. But, you've taken risks in your life before, I'm sure. And everything we do and choose to do, especially in business, there are bound to be some failures. We know this, right? Fail forward. Fail early, fail often, but always fail forward. And some bad decision I'm sure you've made in the past too. I know I spent $25,000 on a coach, and my coaching sessions were him through a webinar tippy-tap typing. And I'm like, what? Bad decision. And hiring somebody in the UK where the time zones are just wrong. I don't even advertise to the UK market anymore. They need to be awake, not only awake, but they have to work through the wee hours of midnight through till sunrise if they want to really work with us closely. But you see, failing is not fatal, and past failures are not a predictor of future success. Now, come back to me. I want you to really pay attention to that. Failures of the past are not a predictor of your future success. So often the question around making a decision is less about whether it'll work, but more about whether you will do the work. Like, let's be honest, right? It's more about your commitment to yourself. Take this program, for example, right? Your questions have centered, a lot of the questions you sent us were questions around what will we do for you in the program. This often shows up as really a debate for yourself on the nuances of the program, poring over the sales page, debating the call schedules, checking the meeting dates, when is the start date, but if you actually peel all the layers back, clients do that with you. And what they're actually really debating on is what you will do in the program. So often what you're really questioning is, and you're afraid to admit, is whether or not you will actually show up, whether you will do the work. Now, I know this system works. We've got many clients over many years that when they do the work, they do get the results. But the reality is, for this to work, it has to be a mutual partnership. I can reassure you, we can put 100% into you. You put your 50% in, I put my 50% in, but you need to commit 100% into your part of this partnership. You see, many times the only difference between your success and somebody else is your level of commitment, that repetition, immersion, and modeling a proven practice. And using the accountability, the community, and any of the enhanced opportunities to help to keep you motivated. It's how you will show up. It's how you are committed. And it's the difference between being committed, so doing whatever it takes, and doing what's convenient. Like, I would, but I call them the yeah buts, right? There are some people before they join, I'm like, I'm going to get rid of their yeah buts. It's a challenge. We talk about it in the team. We've got people who join who are in the community, and you'll help them and they'll go, yeah, but, and I'm like, and I'll hear it multiple times. And in the team meetings, because we talk about you, of course, because we're helping you, I'm like, so-and-so has got the yeah buts. Let's work on getting rid of the yeah buts. Who has a yeah but? Yeah? I'm going to do it, yeah, but I've got to clean the pantry. So when you do know it's the right time, for example, what you'll do is you'll be, say, for example, just starting out your business. Or what if you're swapping between businesses? Well, these may be they might seem really polar opposite. They're actually very similar. It's finding out the perfect time for you. Until you realize there is no actual perfect time for any decision, and there is also no time like the present. Whether you are hungry for clients, whether you're overwhelmed with ideas, whether you're not sure how to add new clients, this is about systems. It's about strategy. It's about support. And it's also about accountability and action taking. It's about commitment. Would you actually delay a decision if you knew it was going to help you? And if you would, why? Why would you delay getting help if you need it? I mean, this mentorship, you deserve to have it. The tools to help you leap over the obstacles, the systems to help you stop reinventing the wheel so that you can get there faster. You essentially are cutting a check for speed and support. What we can do for you in a 30-day period is probably more than what you will get done in 3 years. When you are no longer reinventing the wheel, you follow a proven system and strategy. And actually, you will find you'll have more time, not less. So that first objection that most people have is, let's come over here. Oh, I did actually set it up so I could click the button. The first objection is time. So whether you're starting or you're swapping, if you delay, you're only delaying the inevitable. Now, the next main objection that people get, let me just put all of these in. Time, money. Oh, hang on. There we go. All right, there we go. So these are all the time objections. So we got time. Who knows what the second objection might be? It's pretty obvious. Yeah, I can see the lips moving in the room. Money. The second objection people have is money fears. They show up big in our lives. And of course, they show up every day when it comes to starting and growing your business, right? Every time you face a money fear, you have to ask yourself, is this going to impact your ability to pay for the roof over your head and put food on the table? If so, this may not be the right time for you. But if money isn't going to put you in the car sleeping on the side of the road, so what I do, we have a look here. There's a spectrum, both with time and with money. So whenever somebody gives you a time or money commitment or an objection, you don't just take it at face value. What you want to do is ask a question with 3 important words. Tell me more. So when somebody says they cannot afford it or they don't have the time, ask, tell me more. Now, what's the difference here? Well, you've got to see on this spectrum, where do they sit? Now, if it's like, oh, look, I don't really have the money because I'd have to move a few things around and I'm not sure if I can do it. That's up this end, right? That's like, oh, you just got to move a bit of money around. Or I can't afford it is I'm working 4 jobs to just put food on the table. I don't even know where I'm going to find the money for the bread for the kids' school sandwiches tomorrow. Now, what's the difference? Both of them had that money objection around not being able to afford it. But you can tell there's a big difference between here where they say, I can't afford it, I can't even afford to feed the family, to I need to move some money around. I can tell you here, come back to me. I had somebody who told me I cannot afford it. There's no way I can afford it. And then the next week, she went out and bought a $20,000 tens machine. And she was telling me in one breath she couldn't afford it, and then she went and bought a $20,000 tens machine. And she was telling me she had problems getting clients, but she went and bought more tools because it's great. It feels good. But you're still telling me you've got no money, but you had 20,000. So don't take it at face value. I did have somebody who told me they didn't have money, but then they got scrappy. If you're scrappy, I'm scrappy, right? They went and got a job with Uber to afford to be able to join this program until they were able to start selling the program. So they were able to get themselves out of bed, jumping from house to house, to driving an Uber, to then having consistent reoccurring revenue through their membership program. But they got scrappy. I got scrappy. I started selling things from my shed. My husband and I have got so much crap that we've collected over the last 25 years, right? The shed's actually the same size as my house, and it has literally nearly floor-to-roof stuff. Now, the same comes with the time objection. I don't have time is, again, I'm working 4 jobs. I can't even think. Or time is, oh, look, on Saturdays I work full time, but then on Saturdays I've got to sit out and go and see the neighbours, or, I like to watch Netflix at night and relax. Like, when you are working full time, did you know you still have 37 hours a week left to work and build your dream? When you work full time, 40 hours, then you take into account sleeping, driving, showering, doing the washing, all those things. You still, if you don't watch Netflix, you actually still have 37 hours in a week that you can be working on your dream. So if it comes to time and money, how scrappy can you get? How creative and how resourceful can you get? I got so resourceful. I would even buy things on Marketplace that I thought were really cheap. I'd buy them and then I'd resell them again on Marketplace. I used to do that at the local market when I was a kid. I was a kid. I would go to the local market with my grandparents. We would get there first person in the front gate in the morning. I would walk around because Nan and Pa had been set up so early. I'd walk around, find things that were like pretty cool, looked pretty cheap. I'd buy them and I'd bring them back, and I had my own little table to resell items from other vendors, other stall holders at the market. I even bought things at the local market and I sold them on the school playground. Anyone remember those little bracelets? And they had this little yin yang that used to clip. They were really popular in the 80s. I bought a whole box of them for like 20 cents each, a huge box. And so on the school playground, and this is because I wanted to save up for a bike. I started to, if it had one color, it was $1, 2 colors, $2, 3 colors, $3. Look, see, entrepreneur. And I didn't even know it back then. So back in the day when I started selling things from my garage to invest in my first course and mentor, when I decided to get serious, I had a job, right? I did have a job. I didn't love it. I was in corporate. I was working for the government. I was working for Centrelink. It paid the bills, but honestly, I treated the money that I made, or the money that I borrowed from the family, I treated it as an actual bank loan when I borrowed from the family's money. And then I doubled down on working my business at night and on weekends while I was still working full time. So you've got to ask yourself, are you willing to invest in your own success, both with time and money? Because knowing that you can renew that commitment to yourself, success is within your reach. And so is the ability to repay an investment tenfold when you actually set it up with the right systems and processes. This is the way successful people actually operate. We evaluate opportunities and we make big, bold decisions. And a lot of the time they're scary. When I'm investing in, and when I started investing in paid marketing, geez, I was so worried. But the difference between an expense and in an investment is very different. An investment pays back dividends over time, over the long term, and you will make your money back and then some. And an expense is something like Starbucks, right? An investment in yourself pays way higher dividends than any other investment possibly could. I mean, think about students who go to university. What does that cost? And are they guaranteed a job at the end? But they still invest in their education. And investing in self-education beyond high school is very, very important for us as entrepreneurs. What would you expect from a doctor, right? Or a lawyer or an accountant at that? You would expect that they've been educated. You wouldn't go to a doctor or an accountant who doesn't have an education. So why would an entrepreneur be any different? If you know you're meant to do this thing and you want to have a breakout year and you need accountability, community, and resources and stop reinventing the wheel every day, if that is what you're looking for, then can you get scrappy? How can you honestly afford not to do it? Seriously, can you afford not to do it? Which leads me to the next thing, certainty, and the role that it plays in the law of attraction. The role it plays in your commitment to yourself, the role it plays in talking to your spouse. And that is what comes next. The spouse. Who gets a bit worried about talking to your spouse? This is your partner. Yeah, get a bit of a fear around that. Will they even say yes? Will they give me permission to do it? You know, those significant others are not just your partner in life, but it's also those around you, like your mother, your sister, your best friend, and even your team. I know for many years, and this has probably been a real debate, and it's not just with yourself, it's probably also been a debate with your spouse, your significant other. You know, I have huge compassion for partners and spouses, my poor husband, right? For the people on the other end of that call with you, like your mother, your sister, your friends, you're calling them and you're asking them for permission and for guidance. But they are not here. They're not in this room with you. They're not surrounded by the support, by the energy, by the community. They are not in this container with you where you can feel the opportunity, where you can see success stories, where you see all of the testimonials that have been popping up in the group. They may or may not be entrepreneurial, your partners. My husband definitely is not entrepreneurial. They may be skeptical of coaching, or let's be really honest, they may be skeptical of you, right? Maybe you've let them down before. Maybe you have knowingly or unknowingly demonstrated a pattern that suggests that you may not be willing to go the distance. A pattern that seems to suggest that your limited commitment to them and to yourself and to that big dream that you keep trying to harness, right? Have you felt that I've spent money, I've done things and I've let myself down, but then I've also let my partner down? And if they've never been an entrepreneur, right, or they've never known one, It may be well beyond their comfort zone and on even what to do, what to embrace. And honestly, the hardships that we go through and the opportunities also that we get as an entrepreneur, which between us is more of the reason why you need support. I always have a mindset coach, a business coach, and I have a therapist at any given time. Tony Robbins, the coach of all coaches, has at least 7 of his own. That's how powerful it is. So if not us, who? The next piece here, as well as your partner, this next place. Now, this is a writer-downer. Okay, this is really important. So come back to me. This is really critical. Not just useful here, but useful in all decision-making and really getting your family and your troops behind you. I'm going to just stand up because I'm getting a numb bum here. But honestly, come back. This is really important. I'm not just teaching you stuff. I'm teaching you life skills here. Because what happens is certainty always wins a debate. Your certainty, it must trump theirs. It must trump your family, your partner. Because when you're talking through a decision with your spouse, your significant other, or any other family member, you must explain why the time is now, why you must do this to work. How can you expedite the results with proven toolkits, with the guidance of a mentor, with the help from others to achieve rapid results, and how it will be so much easier and frankly better for your relationship with them when you have a trusted advisor and a community that allows them to return and you to come back to them in a better way. You know, whether it's a mother, a sister, a team member, you know, versus your partner in life, being sort of what ends up happening is those partners, they get forced into a bit of an ad hoc business advisor. I try to not do it to my husband. That's why I have support. And you tend to go like, oh, this didn't work. I wish I did this better. And at the dinner table, you're just like ranting and raving about all the issues. Who's done that? Those poor partners. If you've tried and failed or started and stopped, and they have constantly helped to try and pick you up. They've had to help resolve any issues that you have. And a lot of the time, then what creeps in is this following one here: fear, shame, and self-doubt. Now, you need to acknowledge your past failures and your procrastination, even when you're still trying to make any decision, because the decisions that you and have made in the past do not affect the future. The game-changing difference for a person on the receiving end is seeing the new you. When you show up more focused, more certain, more determined, with a plan. And the best way to demonstrate this can be by actually, when you approach them, you set a timeline with measurable goals, with a reward for both of you when you arrive at the destination. Like, let's take a vacation when I do my first launch, or let's take a vacation when I hit my first 5-figure month. It'll be my treat. Now, so often we ask our beautiful partners for permission, when really we're actually seeking our own permission. We're unsure of where we want to go. And then we blame our spouse for not being on board with our success. But you see, we have to enroll them in our vision. We have to ask them for their support, not their position. That's right. Asking for support, not permission. So you see, for this to work, you have to be fully on board first. You must be certain for the people around you to be on board with this. You see, their belief in you actually starts with your belief in you. If I have seen, I've seen this time and time again, even when most doubtful spouses or family members see you turn that corner, they actually start to see a new sense of certainty, commitment, and passion in you. I remember my husband, my mum, right? She used to tell me, stop working so hard and look after your husband. My husband used to never tell anyone about what I did. Oh, I'm not sure. She just does some things. And I remember both my husband and my mum, like not being in the room and hearing them talk about me when I'm not around and like, wow, she's doing amazing things now. But for years, my mum used to tell me, stop working so much and look after your husband, right? But then when she saw the belief, the passion, the happiness, and I stopped complaining to them. I did that with my business coach. But this can also be a turning point for you. When you stop asking for permission to do what you know you need to do, and instead start asking for support in the decision that you have already made. What you really want is their blessing now that you have given yourself permission. Okay, so the next thing is the last objection is a big one, and it's really a deeply buried one that a lot of people won't talk about. Fear around failure. Failure, shame, and self-doubt. You see, past decisions and actions, they don't determine where you go forward. That past decision or action, not turning out as we expected, goes from a warning to actually preventing us from doing something dangerous, right? And what it can do is it can imprison us to keep stuck, afraid to take action due to fear of failure. You see, you start second guessing yourself, whether you're even capable of making a good decision. And you don't make any decision at all because you're just too scared to make a decision. Ironically, in itself, that is actually a decision to not make a decision. So to stretch it, to embrace risk and failure, you need action steps. You need to be an action taker and just embrace the risk of failure. But you can elevate that risk by rethinking about the reward, bringing it back to your why. Let me know in the comments, why do you do what you do? I want you to risk forward. When you are elevating risk and evaluating risk, you have to ask yourself, is this riskier to take a leap and commit to working and modeling someone who's figured out a system and practicing how to get there, or is it costlier for me to not act, to do it or do it alone? Or will it just stay a dream? To risk success or to risk regret? You have to get really quiet with your fear, and I want you to listen to your inner voice. Is it fear of failure or is it fear of succeeding? Because if you succeed, then you have to actually follow through. Is it putting you in danger or just outside your comfort zone? Fear, two sides of the same coin. You have to stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is it scarier to stay stuck or scarier to have my dreams unrealized? You see, all of these objections that we've just covered, your clients, they all go through exactly the same thought process. processes when you are trying to help and show them what it is you can do. And objections and opportunities to enroll ourselves and other people around us, they show up every single day in our lives. Every single day. Objections and overcoming them and enrolling ourselves and the people around us is so important. And this is where that big life skill comes from. Because overcoming objections, you've got to, let me just bring up my screen again. There's a pattern here in this framework where this life skill is you. Is the first objection that you need to overcome, and you need to enroll you first. You need to enroll you in your program. You need to believe in you and what your program will do for others. You need to have a big, huge dream. It is a simple way of thinking that can help you in making decisions today, but I hope you see that this will actually become a guiding principle in regards to enrollment. You must enroll yourself first. The key here is to being more, doing more, having more, making more. That's our wish for you, to live bold, empowered, and fully realized. So, enroll you. Then, once you enroll yourself, then you can start to enroll others. Now, the others is your family, your support network. Once you believe in yours, you are no longer now asking for permission to do your dream, to go forth and change lives, help amazing people. You're now just telling them that you're going to do the thing and you are looking for their support. Then once you've enrolled your family, your friends, then you have to enroll your team. Now, your team need to believe in your vision, because then they come on board and they can row in the same direction as you to ensure that this thing that you believe in, your family supports you in, your team will now grow with you to help you with that dream. And then once you enroll your team, now it's your time to enroll people. When you know that what you do is amazing, you've got the support of your friends and family, you've got a team around you to support you, and we can be your team. Then you have the confidence to start enrolling others and other people in your program. So if you know your time is now and you're ready to commit, I want you to feel free to go hit that I'm all in button in the program, because the support, the team component, we can be that. But if you don't believe in you, don't hit that button, right? Don't hit it, because you need to have a belief in yourself before you hit that button. Don't take up somebody else's seat in this program. You know, I had conversations with my mum, and she used to tell me, like, she would give me advice around, you know, looking after my husband, and all I wanted from her was support. And I constantly kept feeling like I was asking permission from her to run a business. You see, I'm the first woman in my family to actually work outside the home. Well, I actually work in the home. Funny that. But my mum and my nan and all of the family above us, none of them actually, they did until they got married. But then not that there's anything wrong with that, they ran the house. I prefer to pay someone to come in now and clean my house because I've got better things to do. I'm out transforming lives. Or finding a small group of people who want to transform lots of lives. So let's talk about these objections. The biggest dragons to slay. Time. So when somebody tells you, I don't have time, you don't have time to not have a system. That's actually going to save you time. I want you to ask them, tell me more. Tell me more. Find out where. Is it really I've got no time? Or is it just an excuse? Because really, if you say you don't have time, then to be honest, this program would save you time because you don't have to go at it alone. Now, if you hear this money objection, it's expensive. I mean, what's more expensive is actually wasting months and months and months stuck in the same position. Who thinks that their business still looks and doesn't keep growing every year? It's going to be better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to do it differently. How many years have you lost just because you thought it was too expensive? Months, years. How much does that cost you in potential revenue? Now, when you hear somebody say, I need to ask my partner, right? Remember, your vision is yours. Playing it safe is the riskiest decision of all. When you go to that partner, make sure you go there and you are going with a plan. Don't just go there and say, hey, I've been in this thing and I think it'll help me. And if I promise that I'll do this and I promise that I'll look after the kids and then if you could help me with that, and would it be all right if I did it? That is not heading into a conversation with certainty. You've got to go in for life skills whenever you want to get support from a family member. You need to go in there with a smart action plan. Show them what you'll do. Know in you that you are not going to just sit there and do nothing this time. It's not going to be like the last time. And you know that you have learnt from past mistakes, but you will not repeat them. I think I heard somebody on a live, one of my favorite quotes, if you keep doing the same stuff on repeat, right, and expecting a different result, it's the thing of insanity. I usually remember that quote, but I heard it somebody on their live. I'm like, that is so true. It's one of my favorite quotes, even though I butchered it. Now, the fear and the self-doubt part, this is really hard to get out when you're speaking with people. If they've tried before and failed, that's probably a precursor to letting you know that, you know, they've probably got a fear of failure, but it's not something that you can always hear in a discussion with them, right? It really, you can keep digging and chunking down, they call it in coaching, with tell me more and reframing that different ways. But if you hear that they've tried it before and it's failed, well, this failure is actually feedback to you that it's time that you do not do it alone anymore. So from all of these different objections that people will bring up for you, you know, which is the biggest dragon you want to slay? Is it time, money, partner, or fear? Let me know in the chat. Which is the biggest dragon you need to slay? Time, money, partner, or fear? Because you can develop that skill set. You know, the way in which you verbalize, I heard a few of you on your lives, I can't use tech. No. I can't go live. Well, you actually are on a live saying that, but you have. Why not shift those words and say, I'm learning to go live. I'm learning, rather than I can't, rather than I I can't. I hate that word. I can't. No, you can exactly, Sharon. I'm learning to get better at tech. Not that I can't. My grandmother-in-law, seriously, this woman, if I lived to the ripe old age she did and still had the love of life that she did, you know, she used to say, don't dream big, dream huge, right? Dream huge. She was still 90 speaking on stages. She actually didn't find herself until she got divorced in her 60s. Finally started driving a car in her 60s, became a published author, wrote 2 books, and I've spilled coffee all over this one. But she was amazing because she had a belief. She could talk to people in their 20s the same as she could talk to old people. And she hated she knew she was old, but she had a passion for life. And literally on her deathbed, my husband and myself and my daughter, she's like, I've had a great life. I'm ready to go home now. You know, she's my inspiration. I want to be like her when I grow up. I want to get to the end of my life and know I've lived a good life. She knows that because she changed so many people's lives. She inspired so many. And no matter what, she just kept going. Imagine being born in the 1920s, right? And the kind of pressures that women had back then to then finally stand up for herself, stop asking for permission to live her dream and just getting out there and doing it anyway, to the point where she got inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame. But she was such an inspiration to so many people. And honestly, I hope I am just a little bit like her when I grow up. I want to be laying on my deathbed, just say, take me home. I've lived a good life. All right. Now I've got a bit emotional. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't think I was going to do that. So, look, we've got some home play for you as well. Now, let's have a look here. What have we got here? We've got fear of failure. But what if but what if I can't? But what if you, and don't fail. But what if you don't fail? Yeah, what if you don't fail? It absolutely can be scary. The power of the word yet. Yeah, not yet. I can't do it yet. If not now, when? If not you, who? If not us, who? You need somebody. Yes, I didn't fully cry, Veronica. It bubbled, but there were no actual waterworks. I've learnt to push my tongue up on the top of my mouth or drink water, I've been told. So, guys, I want you to get out there. I want you to slay those dragons. All right. Let's talk about your home play, shall we? Let's look at this. Oh, where is my home play? It's here somewhere. Sharon said, I'm worried if I won't have enough time for my family if I succeed. You'll probably have more time, but if you have the right systems in place. Just saying. I know people who are scared of that, but once their automation is following up with them and they're getting sales in their sleep, gives you back more time, gives you more freedom. But at the end of the day, you do you, boo. That's from Ash. Look, I believe in you. And I believe if you believe in yourself enough, you will be able to enroll the troops. Let's talk about your home play now. So here's your home play. Oh, I didn't turn them off, so that'll be okay. What are you going to do to keep going when things get hard? So here, let me share with you what I do when things get hard. So I actually have a folder on my Google Drive that has all my testimonials in it. And I will watch the videos and I will read through the testimonials, or when I see success stories of people, years down the track from working with them, I'll take screenshots. They might not even know that I'm still stalking them in their journey, and that helps me. The second thing that I do is I really bring it back to my why. The why that shifted for me, and it was a huge eye opener for me. My why actually happened at a conference in America. I was invited over to a conference because I was going to win an award, and I got there and they had this woman on stage, Valerie Burton, speaking, and she talked about becoming known. And I was always the girl behind the camera, right, in the dark room developing. Yes, I developed in the dark room back in the day. But I was always the girl behind the camera. I was the fat chick, the fat girl in school, the fat black girl in school. I used to have a tan. I'm half Asian. You can't tell because I have my sunshine in a bottle, my vitamin Ds. But she shared a story that moved me to the point. Have you ever cried where you cry so hard you're like, actually, I've just lost you guys on screen. Where did you go? Have you ever cried that hard where you're like, that's what happened to me with that? She actually talked about her fear of being known. And that exact conference, there were people walking behind me. And because I was doing quite well in the company, like we were in the top 1%, they go, oh my God, that's Sally Sparks' cousin. She's famous. And no word of a lie. I shit you not. All I wanted to do was run and hide under a table and go, I'm not famous, I'm not famous, I'm not famous. Stop saying that. I had this fear around being known. I really loved helping people. That's why I was able to recruit, because honestly, network marketing is just a personal development company in disguise, let's be honest. And that's what I really love the most. So that's why I was able to build a team. And it's also a gateway drug to being an entrepreneur. Network marketing is for sure. But what she made us do was kind of just write a really simple sentence. And I have to find the book. Just write on one page the thing you really want. And I had never written it down before, and it's going to sound really silly, but I want to help inspire women. That's it. I want to help and inspire women to do the things like be successful like me. And no word of a lie. I'm like crying so hard. I wrote it, I highlighted it, and it was just a simple sentence. And that's when I realized that I need to be known. And, the more you get known, guess what comes out of the woodwork? All the assholes. Yeah? People saying bad shit about you. People spending more time writing a negative review than working on their business. That they get better SEO on a negative review than they will ever get in their business because they didn't work their business, even though we worked so many hours for them. But for some reason, they still just wanted to complain and blame me. Then also I've lost the word, but the people that bag you online or comment nasty things. Those people, you know what? The trolls. Yeah, don't feed the trolls. Thank you. You know, the thing with the trolls is there's a really cool button on social media. It's called block. Piss off. I don't need you in my life. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Or when somebody writes you a really long email to complain about nothing, bye-bye, delete. I don't even read my unsubscribed messages. I did it once where people unsubscribe and there's the option to leave feedback. I read it once and I'm like, oh my God, they all hate me. Oh, it's so horrible. I'm like, what the hell am I reading this for? It's not serving me. So I don't even look at them anymore. Now when people unsubscribe from my list, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Right? Because they're big and bold enough to like hit the button. They're adults. Like people go, oh, you send me too many emails. I'm like, babe, you're an adult, unsubscribe. If you're scared of sending emails to your people, you're actually doing them a disservice, not helping them. If they're not interested, they're a bloody adult. They can click the unsubscribe button. Don't let them dull you because you're fearful of being known and being seen, and you've got to show up on social, in emails, in text messages, in places. You can automate most of it. One thing I will not do is AI this. I will not AI me. If you see me live, it's me. If I'm going to AI me, I'm going to be a cartoon character, or I'm going to be like something that you know it's AI, but I will not AI me. It's something I'm very passionate about with AI. I love AI, don't get me wrong, but these people who are trying to do AI with their own faces, it annoys me. So your question is, when things get hard, what do you do to keep going? And when it comes to yourself and your business and this big dream you have, what's your biggest block? Is it time, money, partner, or fear? I mean, I remember Mum, when she used to tell me off about not looking after my husband, I felt so guilty. I ended up going and seeing a therapist because of mother guilt, right? And it's real. Mother's guilt is real. I can tell you now. All right. Now, once you know what your biggest block is, you need to start reframing it. How are you going to look at reframing time, money, partner, or fear? Are you going to go to your partner with more certainty and ask for support, not permission? Are you going to kick the itty bitty shitty committee off your shoulder? You know, that one that's saying, you can't do it. No, just be scared all the time. Right? Flick it off the shoulder. Say, piss off, I'm going to do it no matter what. All right, drop a heart in the chat. Honestly, today, if you have a big dream and it scares you, yeah, if you've got a big dream but it scares you, let me know in the chat. You know, this is a safe space. Let us know. Yeah, that's okay. Having a big dream that scares you is okay. It's okay to admit that it scares you. But it is not okay to not share your gift with the world. You would not be still here with me on day 4 if you didn't believe that you had something special to share with the world. And it would be wrong of you to let time, money, partners, or fear stop you. All right, let's have a look at tomorrow. Oh, that was your home play. No, let's look at your Live in 5 first. So your Live in 5 challenge today is... Oh, where's my little button? Come on. Why you no show? Oh, there you go. What is the biggest block that has held you back in the past? And what are you going to do differently now moving forward? What I want you to do is forgive yourself for what you didn't know before you knew it. If you learned something new today that really resonated with you, don't beat yourself up because you haven't done it yet. Forgive yourself for what you haven't done in the past and move forward with certainty. And I want to hear, what is your big dream? Not just your business. I'm talking about your big dream, even if it scares you. You know, if it doesn't scare you, it may not even be big enough. I have a dream. Actually, you know what? I'm going to share my dream on my live. Okay, we're going to continue the lives. But my dream is pretty big. And it was after hearing Valerie Burton that Ash and I have been having a few meetings recently, which is the start of, finally, the steps towards my big dream. And it was because of that sentence that I wrote in that book that I want to help and inspire women. It was such a simple, simple sentence. So I will share that with you on my live. Now, I'm really, really looking forward to hearing about your big dream, because remember, it's a safe and supportive space. So share. And if you cry, that's okay too. It's just cleaning out your eyes. We do a lot of that in our community. We're very open to that. And what, of course, did you like best about day number 4? Now, also, we better do our little prize draws here. Let's do the prize draws. Coming on over, coming on. Where is my screen? Oh, just push the button, Sally. You set it up. Here we go. All right, our prize draws for today is intro, goals, struggles, and tools. Our winner is Zoe Wood. Woo! I saw her in and she left, but she was here. All right, next one is our fan. So let's give this a shuffle and a swiggle around. And our winner is Mary Thomas. Yay! All right, this is fabulous to see. I love to see this. All of our home play people, keep it coming. You can continue entering this all through until the home base disappears. Steve Gregory. Well, yes. Woo-hoo. And then finally, our live in 5. These are my favorite. And our winner is, with Sharon. It's going to be one of them. Sharon Barnett. Thank you. Well done. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we also want to say who was our winner. Let's bring up, I think, Ash, whoever's coming up to tell me. Who was the winner on yesterday's and today's, please, for most interactive?
We actually have 2 days plus today to announce because we accidentally missed one day. So bonus. So today is day 4. On day 3, the winner for most interactive was Steve Gregory. Woohoo! Yay! And on day 2, the winner for most interactive, Sharon Sortle. Yeah. Now, as for most active today, that is, bear with me, it is coming through. We have a little tracker. I'm so sorry, guys. I said laptop lifestyle because I'm working away at the moment. It is Kingsley.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, Ash. Look, we will be going dark in a minute. I've lost all my bits. Okay, that'll be it. So we will be going dark soon and we'll be doing some laser coaching. But before we end today, I wanted to say, look, I can feel the weight of the decision in the room. And I wanted to share a story with you about a time that I faced making a really big decision. And there was really some big implications involved. And I was at a crossroad and I had to think with my heart and not my head. Would it be okay with you if I just share a little personal story? Yeah? Okay. Look, I had done what you were meant to, right? I moved out of home. I struggled for quite a while when I was a kid. I had not much money and ate out of the salvo bin. It was good if you got there warm in the morning early because the bread would be warm that Brumbies would donate. But I also then did what I was meant to and I got a really safe job, right? I worked for Centrelink. And, you know, once you've got a government job, literally you're set for life. It's really, really hard to lose a job when you work for the government. You know, you've got to do a lot of things bad before you'll get, like, I've seen people that shouldn't even be in their job, but they still work there. And then in 2003, I got married. And I just want to preface this. I'm going to be talking about my son, who's an angel. And I just want to put a little trigger warning out there. If you're somebody who may, you know, have an angel of your own, I do want to talk about him because he has played a very big part in why I'm here. So I do want to just, throw that one out there. But in 2003, we got married. I was pregnant before the end of that year. And, you know, I had this dream of what life should be like, or, you know, what I was led to believe that it would be like. And then in March of 2004, I was almost 20 weeks pregnant, and I went to the toilet and I said to my husband, all weekend, God, he feels low, right? And we were cleaning. We were I was nesting in the garage because I cleaned it all out to get everything out and have this beautiful space. And then I went to the toilet in the morning. My husband had left for work, and I went to wipe myself, and there was this thing hanging out, and I freaked. And I ran back to bed, or walked back to bed, and it went back in. And first thing I did was I called my mum because my husband was driving to work. And my mum's like, oh, shit, let me ring in the ambulance. And she rang 911. Now, back then, 911 wasn't diverted to 000, so the poor thing, she rang 911. Then she's rang my husband, and he's flipped and turned around, and he's chasing from the other side of Melbourne. He ended up seeing, eventually when the ambulance got there and took me to the hospital, he was following the ambulance. But anyway, we spent a week or more in the hospital, and during that time, my husband nearly lost me. I got violently ill. And so what ended up happening was when the mother gets sick, the body will abort the baby to save the mum. And I got really, really ill. But then after I gave birth, I didn't stop bleeding, and they thought they were going to lose me. And my husband was now losing his son, and he's thinking he's about to lose his wife. And my husband had never experienced death in his life, ever. Like, I've lost my brother, I'd lost my grandparents, I'd lost people close. So I had experienced death in a close way before, but my husband had never. He ended up in, and I don't think he's ever fully recovered, but he ended up having like anxiety attacks. And, but after him, what happened was so my husband was the very first CAD manager for Target. He worked his way up. He was with them for over 10 or 15 years, and he got poached by this company because of his skill set. He's only one of about 2 or 3 people in the world that can do what he does. And he got poached by this other company, and they gave him 3 days off and wanted him back to work. 3 days. And he had never been out of work since he was probably 8. And I said, quit. And he quit. And in that time, we both really realized how fleetingly short life can be. Like, literally, when I was in labor, they kept putting the thing to hear the heartbeat. At the end, I had to say, can you please not? Because I knew that he was not going to be going home with me. And And after he was born, and I think I've kind of lived like, I've really lived this to the point here, I'll show you. So my daughter made this in kindergarten. And I wrote this on, I should have written a year on it, many years ago. Life is too short to sweat the small shit. And to be honest, that's when I realized I needed to do what I love. I was still working at Centrelink. Danny had quit his job. And I decided I'm going to start a photography business. And that's when I bought, because DSLR, I bought the very first ever DSLR that came to market. It was an EOS something. It's the very first DSLR. And I started my first official, even though I didn't realize at the time I was an entrepreneur from a kid, I started my first official business and we called it DJ Dedicated Photography, which was after Dylan John, our son. And he was my inspiration to realize that this life we have is fleeting. The choices we make on how we want to live are ours and ours alone. When I close my eyes at night, it is me. And I made a decision then that I didn't want to go back to corporate. Now, we did fall pregnant again by the end of 2004 because what happened with Dylan was I got really, really ill. And I truly believe what happened was the doctors would come in every day and, split your legs, let us look. And they were poking and prodding. And then after Dylan was born, they asked us if they'd like us to do an autopsy to see what happened. And we said, yes, please. And he was perfectly healthy. My placenta, however, was infected. So it was through that we believe that caused it. When I got pregnant with my daughter Shay, and we didn't find out if it was a boy or a girl, we actually found out for Dylan that it was a boy. But when we got pregnant the second time, I'm like, I don't want to know. I just want to bring it home. Right? We got to spend a few days in hospital with Dylan, and we had this beautiful lady who came in, and she does photography for people who cannot take their children home so that you can take your photos home. And by the 20th week, every week I went in for an ultrasound. By the 20th week, they started fussing in the ultrasound room and they said, wait here. And they left and they didn't come back for a while. And my husband now, still not fully recovered from the first, he's on the floor because he doesn't know if he's going to faint. He fainted when he was a kid and broke his shoulder bone, and he tells people that he fell off a fence because he doesn't want to be seen as a wuss by just fainting when he saw blood on his mum's foot. But he was on the floor. But at 20 weeks, the same thing happened. And what happened? I got stuck in a hospital bed for 4 months. 4 months I was dilated. 4 months, I wasn't allowed to push to go to the toilet. I had to have needles every morning and night so that I wouldn't get blood clots. I couldn't even get up and have a shower. I had no shower. They rubbed me down in bed. That was as good as it got. There was this beautiful nurse who came in and she pushed the bed away, took the back of the bed off, and she washed my hair over a garbage bin so that I could at least feel fresh hair after like 3 months. And every week they would give us a list of all these problems that our baby's going to have when she's born. And it was scary. All we wanted to do was get to 28 weeks because the survival rate is the same as a full-term baby. So if we could just get to 28 weeks. At 28 weeks, we made it, and my husband went and bought a little tatty teddy, and that's been a little gift that we do quite often now, a little tatty teddy. And then he we got there, and the next goal was to get to 32 weeks, because at 32 weeks, the survival rate, of course, is the same, but health problems are not as bad. At 32 weeks, they might just be a little smaller, but growth-wise, they'll just be a little delayed. But chances are they're not going to have braddies. They're not going to have brain issues. They're not going to have like all these other health issues at 32 weeks. So we made it to 32 weeks. And we laid in that bed, and it was like we would say to Dylan, come on, look after your brother or sister, keep an eye on us, and let's take this one home. And I think what kept us going was this. Life's too short to sweat the small shit. They used to call us the smiling couple. We would play board games. We would do puzzles. He sat beside my bed for 4 months. And we were there that long that after a certain amount of time, the accommodation becomes free. And because it was such a big travel for him to get up. And it was the old Royal Women's Hospital, which was hot, no air conditioning. Every time I'd get a new bedfellow next door, they'd say, Sally Lee likes the fan on, and they all had to just bear with it. Oh, it's pretty gross, but I hate Glen 20 now, because when you share in a room and you're not allowed to go to the toilet, Danny used to stand there and spray Glen 20 every time I had to go to the toilet in bed. And all the nurses knew that Sally needed the big pan, not the little pan, because she got a big bladder. If you bring her the small one, you'll be cleaning out the bed. So, we had fun, though. It was stressful, but we made it enjoyable, and I crossed my legs and said, you're not looking. You see, the second time, I'm wiser. I'm more determined. And I said, I'm dilated. There's no need to look. And because I believe that they put something in me from looking every day with Dylan. I could have potentially got through if they stopped poking, but you do what the doctor tells you, right? And I'm like, you don't need to look, I'm dilated. Last time the placenta was sick and I don't want it. And I got to 34 weeks, and at 34 weeks, you're able to go, I could go back to Geelong because they were allowed to have babies after 34 weeks. We were actually part of a study too, that if she was born before 24 weeks, they would pull an envelope and see whether they would try to resuscitate. And I know now through that study that we were part of, they will try to resuscitate a baby earlier than 24 weeks, where when we were there, they wouldn't. But we moved back to Geelong, still totally stuck in bed, had not been, all I'd ever seen is the roof of both hospitals. When I went back to visit, it was so weird because I'd never walked around the hospitals at all. And then by 37 weeks, they got me standing. I actually did go into labour twice. And one of them was on Mother's Day, and she was about 32 weeks by then. And I'm like, bring it, because I've been laying there for 2 bloody months by then. And it's Mother's Day. What a cool day to have a baby. But they're like, no, come on, let's try. So 2 nights of no sleep and stopping the labour again. She wasn't born, and what happened with Dylan and what, and this is not to get sympathy from you, but you see, there can be moments in our lives and times in our lives that make us kind of reflect back on choices that we didn't make and things that we didn't do. And especially when I really saw how fleeting a heartbeat in my belly to coming out and not being there, but to have such an impact on our life. My daughter did this all on her own fruition. When she started learning to write, she would sign cards off Love Shay and Dylan. I didn't even ask her to do that. One mum told me off at school one day that she was disgusted that I told my daughter about our dead son. And I'm like, he's part of our family. Why would you not? Every year we go together as a family and we buy a Christmas present for him. He's an adult now. He'd be 22. And now I'm buying presents to put under the Kmart wishing tree for a 22-year-old. And back, when he turned 16, we got him a mountain bike, riding gear, helmet, all the safety stuff because my husband's all about safety. And we put that together under the Kmart wishing tree. And every year as a family, we go and we buy a present for Dylan and we put it under the tree. And for years, I believed that I had to have a safe, secure job because it's the safe option. And I knew in my heart that I needed to do more. You see, the underlying message here is sometimes things that look risky can actually be the safest. And what seems safe can sometimes feel risky. And I had returned to corporate after losing Dylan, and I hated that corporate world. It was soul-sucking. That people would come in and they would ask for advice, and I really, truly couldn't help them because I was not in control of government legislation. I wanted to help them, but I couldn't. We know, right, our buyers, they're going to ask people for advice. And when they ask for advice, those people aren't qualified to give advice with what it is we do, right? I really wanted to no longer be with corporate. I really wanted to do my own thing because life was so short. And, you'll go out there and you'll ask your partner, they ask their mother, their sister, their brother, a friend, even a neighbor. And they're going to ask these people to have advice around whether or not they should do it. Now, you see, what that is these people, they love us. They want us to also feel safe. And they will tell us to take the safe route because they want to protect us. But sometimes the safe route is not the way to go because it holds us back from truly fulfilling the dreams, the life, the passion that we want for ourselves. You see, even though my mum was telling me to stay in my corporate job, she was telling me that because she loved me. She was correct, but she wasn't right. What she was doing was just trying to protect her daughter, to keep her safe. She loved me, but she didn't have the vision I had. You see, there are so many people in our lives that we will go to choose the safe thing, but they do not fully understand our vision because our vision is not their vision. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, what it is that you do. It is your vision and your life to live. The person you're selling to, they also have a vision. They're the person coming to you to ask for advice. Now, you will probably go out there and ask advice from others, but remember, they don't have your vision. They don't have the same skill set as you. They definitely don't have this drive. And I know what I do. It's a calling. It's a bit woo-hoo. It's a bit spiritual, but honestly, it's a calling. But they don't know that. So they're going to give you advice that sounds safe. Stay in that corporate job. It's secure. You'll never have to worry. What I do kind of sounds a bit like a cult. We all get together, we bound arms, we're stronger together than we are alone. We have all these fun little quotes, right? Sometimes it sounds too expensive and our friends and family are going to say, well, it's too expensive. My mum told me, just stick with that corporate job. It's safe. Yes, Mum, it sounds safe and you are correct. But guess what, Mum? You're not right. You know, who's had a loved one give you advice that may be correct, but you knew in your heart that it was not right? You see, what we do in our business, and those of you who we help, this is where it comes to my big vision. We know that what we do is for others. It's just in service of our dream client. I used to believe playing it safe was the right path, but then I realized safe is risky. Waiting is costly. And when you don't set up yourself to just take a risk, you're not just going to miss out. You know, even though your family might tell you no, your future and your future clients, they're waiting for you. Who here has ever been told to play it safe? But deep down inside, you know that that's not right. So look, as we finish up today, I want you to ask yourself, if it's not you who's going to help your dream clients, who? If you're not going to believe in yourself and get there, and you're not going to do it now, when? Put a deadline on it. You see, no one can do this for you, but you don't have to do it alone. And if you know you're meant to do this, this is the time. There is no time like the present. Life is way too short. It's fleeting. Look, if you know it's the right decision for you, if you want to come and join us, and honestly, let us champion you. You have to do the work, but you don't have to do it alone. I want you to truly take that risk and hit that I'm all in button on Homebase and apply to join us. I would love to celebrate with you tomorrow in our celebration. Not just us, but celebrate you and your journey. And for those of you who are still debating and maybe you're stuck, you're not quite sure, you're in that indecision, I can tell you the time is now. If it feels like I am working hard to enroll you, it's because I am. Because I know you will be more successful with us than you will without us. Because I've been where you are. I've had big decisions. I've had people tell me no. But the decision is due by tomorrow because I really, really want to see you in that graduation. Because this program, when it starts at our welcome celebration, I want to see you there. Because when you realize how you want to show up in life, how you want to be seen, how you want to commit, you will want to start immediately. And really, between us, why would you delay getting started if you know this is the time for a big, bold change? This is the time to finally make more money, have more time in your life, and a business that is your calling. Having a plan versus trying to make it up as you go. Getting your spouse or partner on board and showing up with them, that successful you. Come model the real success. This program works. You're actually going to stop your husband, partner, wife, or sister from being your business mentor in a role they're not qualified for. The time is now for living boldly, empowered. I want you to fully realize that your life and what you have and what you've been given is meant to be helping people, or you would not be here. All it takes is you to claim a spot, is to go hit that I'm all in button on the dashboard. If this weight of the decision is too much, look, I invite you to drop the word support and our team will reach out and have a chat. I'll be available and the team will be available to have a chat and support you through the thinking process of this big decision. But I can tell you, I am trying to enroll you not for me, for you. Because if you know it's for you, I hope you will act boldly and embrace it to the bigger vision of your life. I would be so honored to be able to help support you on your journey. You have to do the work, but you do not have to do it alone. This year, I want you to be able to look back on this year. When we run our Christmas party, we're going to be celebrating you. See where you could be in 12 months' time with the right support, the right systems, the right processes. And again, to claim that space, go hit that I'm all in button on home base. All right, we're going to go dark now. We're going to go and look after these beautiful humans that are still here. We're going to go dark and we're going to do some Q&A and get them meeting their accountability buddies. So if you're on the fence, let me remind you what's inside the Academy. You've got the 7-step roadmap from See It to Scale It. You get 12 months of OmniSam software for free. Loads of different expert weekly calls. We have tech support Tuesday through Friday with Tech at 10 and 2. You get hands-on reviews where we will review your offer, your messaging, your marketing, your events, promotions, your pitch, your sales calls, and of course, the support from the amazing community and the accountability buddies out there. So again, the investment is $9,000, pay in full and you'll get a mapping session, or you can pay as little as $900 a month to truly start stepping into that dream. It does come with that ROI guarantee. So if you don't make your investment back, of course, we will work with you until you do. I personally will. But remember, we only bring in 12 people and I think we're just over halfway. So once we get to capacity, we're at capacity because we want to ensure that we have a personalized support system and structure for you. And if you drop the word ready in the chat, my team will DM you the link to go get registered if you can't find it on Homebase. So before I send you off, from my heart to yours, I hope something that you've learned is that indecision is the worst form of self-abuse. If you know this program is for you, decide with your heart, not your head. Get the best night's sleep by saying yes, knowing you are no longer on the fence and no longer alone. All it takes is going to Homebase to apply. Just click I'm all in, or drop support if you want to talk to a team member. The welcome party starts tomorrow and I would love to see you there. All right. You are truly meant for big, bold, beautiful things, and I would be honored to be part of that journey. But the decision to not make a decision is the decision. But make something. Make one or two and then move forward. I'll see you on the dark side for those who are here live. Never let anyone dull your sparkle, guys. I'll see you tomorrow is celebration. Oh, I nearly forgot. We've got to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is graduation. Oh, graduation. So what are we doing in graduation? Well, dress code is sparkles, baby. Sparkles. Bring the sparkle. The sparkliest person will win a prize. Yes, they will. So make sure you come with the sparkles tomorrow. I'm really curious. I don't know if Ash can top what she did last time. I don't know if she'll top what she did last time, but we will find out. But come in all the sparkles. Bring the love, and regardless of what choice you make, please come tomorrow because we'll be wrapping it up and we will be giving you action steps. We'll be making a 90-day plan for you to move forward, And if you're a level 3 committer, I expect to see you there or on the replay. Have a good one. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. And I'll see those of you still here on the dark side. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling, shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go